Welcome to another episode of Third and Three with Coach Roger Holmes. I'm Jason Holcomb, joined as always by the coach. Coach, couldn't I ask for a better situation than what happened last Friday night? Irish get a big win over our rival Swainsboro. Tell me what you felt coming out of that game.
I was impressed with our effort. I was more impressed with our conditioning as opposed to how it was when we played Dodge County. We didn't do some things right, there's no question about that, but our kids played with physically and they played with great effort. Our kicking game was probably the most solid of anything last Friday night. Kicking game was really good. John Potter had a good night with the ball off his foot, and so that part of it I thought was really good. Clay Ashley had a heck of a night for us. He had 2 long touchdown runs. He blocked well. He did a great job in the secondary defending those big, tall, wide receivers. Kendall Wade had a huge night in the secondary with 9 tackles and a pick 6.
Yes, that was beautiful.
So he had a huge night for us back there. A much more complete game than game 1, which you would hope and expect. But now we got to get ready for region play, and got a tough road in front of us, and we'll be talking about that, I'm sure. But thought our crowd was pretty solid. I don't think there were any problems with the advanced ticket sales, and the people were able to get in with no problem with that. So again, buy your tickets online, and it'll save us all a lot of heartache standing in line or in the COVID possibilities.
Yes, and we are so grateful to have a solid crowd out there. It wasn't quite capacity for what our capacity is this year, but it was a very solid turnout, and I want to appreciate all the folks from Swainsboro who came down to watch the game as well. And before we leave off from that game, we need to talk about our Optum Player of the Week, so let's go to that. All right, Coach. Well, obviously you talked about Quay. That's why he's Player of the Week this week. Had almost 160 yards, I think, on I don't even know if it was 10 carries, but that was fantastic. But we don't get to rest on our laurels for long because, like you said, region play starts now. And this week we have to travel to Vienna, which when I first moved here I thought it was Vienna, to play the Dooley County Bobcats. Talk about what y'all are doing to game plan for this week.
Jason, this is probably the least prepared we'll ever go into a football game, and that's not because we're not working. It's because they have a new head coach. Obviously no spring practice, so no spring scrimmage, no fall scrimmages, no half pad camps in the summer, nobody to call, nobody to get a hold of to give us any idea about what they're doing on offense or defense. So obviously for them, we're going to be their first game. They were supposed to have played a game prior to us. They had the COVID situation and were quarantined, so this is their first game. But anybody that's been around Georgia for the past 19 years knows what Dublin does. We don't have a clue, and all we can do is form a hypothesis based on this head coach's background, because he's never been a head coach. He's been a defensive coordinator, so you might be able to go back and find out what he based out of as a defensive coordinator. But his offensive coordinator has never been an offensive coordinator. So, we're kind of looking around and trying to prepare for 3 or 4 different things. But at the end of the day, it's about our kids following our rules, both offensively and defensively, being aligned properly, flying around and tackling, and then following your blocking rules on offense, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, hopefully we're going to get another victory for the Irish. Road trips are always interesting, especially when you have to go to small towns, having to drive every which way. We'll throw some directions up there for you as well. If you'd like to come join us, we'd love to have you. If you're not able to join us, we have 2 options. And the one option won't be available this week, but we've got the one option of John Strickland, the voice of the Irish, with 101.3. So if you're not able to make the drive, We want you to check that out. And last week, Coach, we were able to do something really cool that we're hoping to be able to broaden as we get down deeper into the season, which was a live stream of the ball game through NFHS. I know that had to be cool for you.
Well, it's something that we've been trying to work on, and through Eric Canada's department here at Dublin City Schools and Mr. Ellenberg, they were able to get it set up and get the live stream going. We didn't really publicize it because we wanted to make sure we were putting out a good product before we put it out to the people. But it seemed to have all went well last week. There were about 400 people that watched the game from the numbers that showed up, and then there's been several that have gone back and watched it since. And we're tied it in with John Strickland's call on 101.3, so the video, as you're watching the game, will have the voiceover from the radio. There's a small subscription price in order to be a member of the National Federation. I know all home games will be done that way, and they're going to attempt to do road games where capacity is available in the press box in places that they're going to have to be able to set up.
Well, we really want to make sure that you follow the Irish all year long. Like I said, you can do that on 101.3. Love to have you at the home games. If you're not able to make some of these games, we're going to hopefully have those live streamed for you. And like I said, NFHS is where you go to find us. We'll make sure to include those links when those games are available. And Coach, this week we don't have a home game, but we still got to keep the field up. So we got to see what all Lucky's up to this week on Ask Lucky.
Well, Lucky, we got 3 games in 8 days the next 2 weeks, so we got to be on our P's and Q's.
I only work in ones and zeros.
Fine, but no shenanigans.
My maneuvers are neither secret nor dishonest. Just like Gary Danielson's love for Alabama is neither secret nor dishonest.
No funny business.
That will be easy as long as you handle all of the business.
Okay, well, the field has to be perfect. You better get out there and start working. Wow, it really does look good. Lucky, I have to give it to you. It really does look great. How do you stay focused for that long?
That's like asking Auburn how they're able to lose to Georgia so many times. Sometimes it is just in your programming.
Most folks come up with games or songs.
Oh, I have come up with plenty of songs. I make the lines faster than most folks chase paper. Unlike Coach Collins, I ain't no hater. Got rhymes like a nursery. Vols can't win with Jeremy. Wrong turns can't be made by me except when the remote is with Barry Champ. Ain't a name, it's my lifestyle. Got lithium ion on a turnstile. The other robots may go by RC, but I ain't no Chun. I'm Lucky, L to the U to the CKY. It's a name you prefer over Coach Y.
Alright, whatever. You just better hope Coach White doesn't catch wind of all this. He's liable to get mad.
Well, Coach, I didn't realize that Lucky was such a hip-hop artist. I know the young people are probably going to be really excited to see him showing off that side of himself. I don't know if you were aware of that when you did the coaching interview or not.
I didn't have a clue that, he was so multi-talented. We saw last Friday night what a great job he'd done on preparing our field. Sometimes you got to prod him, but, man, this dude's really got a sense of humor. There's no doubt about it.
There's no doubt, and I really hope that he and Coach T. White don't cross paths, because he's sure making a big deal about trying to tease on Coach White, and people got to realize Coach White, we just have to wait and see. It's said to be continued, so we have to wait and see.
He's been a little hard on my Vols, too, but I'm going to get even with him if they slip up on Georgia this week.
I'm going to tell you, it could happen. Well, Coach, we talked earlier in the show about schedule, and we have one of the most unique schedules you're ever going to find in high school football. We're going to be playing 3 football games in the span of 8 days. And I know for you and for your staff, and especially for these players, that's going to augment a lot of your preparations. But first, we want to talk about those dates. Tell us about the dates of these games. Obviously, we've got Dooley this Friday, but then what comes next?
Well, Dooley's Friday. Our region voted that we wanted to, anybody that missed a game due to COVID, they want to try to get it made up so that the people that go into the playoffs, you decided it on the field. You didn't decide it trying to figure out a point system and this and that. Let's get it settled on the field if at all possible. So we decided that we would move Friday night's games to Thursday, play on Tuesday, and then play on Saturday. Then Dooley was coming off of a 14-day quarantine. And we had a rule that said you had to be able to have 3 days of practice before you could play a game. Well, they came off quarantine on Monday. So that meant they had to practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So the earliest we could get them in was Friday. Georgia High School had to approve the plan to play 2 games in a week and also play a game on a night preceding a school day. So you have to ask special permission. That's been granted. So we're playing Dooley at Dooley on Friday night of this week at 7:30. The Wheeler game that we missed due to COVID will be played Tuesday night here in the Shamrock Bowl, and we will start that game at 7 p.m. because of a school night. So we're moving it up 30 minutes, and it'll start at 7. That then meant we had to push Friday's game, which is homecoming, to Saturday. We looked at the schedule, and there's a big NCAA game going on Saturday.
Tiny, yeah.
You have your Georgia-Alabama game, which is an 8 o'clock kickoff on Saturday night to accommodate our fans so they can come see us and see their beloved dogs. We're going to start that game at 3:30 on Saturday. Hawkinsville really wanted to do that also, so we moved it up to 3:30 on Saturday. You can come enjoy the football game here, the homecoming activities, and still get home in time to watch Alabama, Georgia. Man, what a great day.
That'll be a fantastic day. And you know, Coach, the last time that I remember us having a Saturday football game around 3 o'clock was in 2006 when a very special football game took place on this field. So I know that's going to be exciting for some.
Bring back a few memories.
Yes, and hopefully the outcome will have a couple extra points in our direction on that weekend.
Yep.
But the result we wouldn't turn away at all. Coach, so we want to make sure people remember Friday is Dooley, Tuesday we've got Wheeler, and then Saturday we'll play Hawkinsville. And thankfully those 2 last games are at home, so that'll mean not having to travel while we're doing that. So please make sure to make plans to come out and support these young men. They are working extremely hard for you to put out a quality product and to represent our community in the best way possible. Well, Coach, before we wrap things up, you know, we always have to end the week on a positive, which is a mustache matchup. So we must ask Coach a question. All right, Coach. We try to do these mustaches every week and try to come up with a little theme. And this week's theme I thought would be cool to go with Ocean's 11. So without further ado, let's go to the tail of the tape. And this week's mustache matchups are going to be Brad Pitt. And Brad's going to be going up against old George Clooney. So the 2 leading men in the Ocean's 11 are the ones in your mustache this week. Who do you got?
Both of them look good, but I got to go with Clooney because he's got a little gray in there.
Yeah, a little extra salt in the hair don't, you know, I think they call that wisdom. I think that's wisdom shining through.
Or stress.
I can't even imagine. But we want to make sure that you guys continue to support these young men and these coaches, these cheerleaders, our band. These people are putting in a lot of hours to put out something quality for y'all to enjoy and more than anything to represent this school system and this community in such a great way. Want to thank you as always for tuning in to 3rd and 3 with Coach Roger Holmes.